Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
We're back, man. Episode 243.
Yes, sir.
All right. Before we get into it,
we got DJ with us.
Yeah, we got DJ
today.
with us again.
I'm back again.
We got to get him on the intro.
We're all good on the audio now? It sounds a little better.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. I just want to make sure. I want the people to hear me. Make sure I'm speaking to the right side of the fucking microphone, too.
Yeah.
That always helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Yep. All right. There you go. I can hear it a little better. All right. Let's get right into it. A stolen owl. This is a very weird story of a man who stole an owl. Owl found in car. What? I bought it at a gas station. Says driver busted for DUI. An Arizona driver sure doesn't seem to give a hoot. Cops. Yeah, that's a funny.
Sorry, go ahead.
Cops say they found an owl.
It'd be the cheesy ones, huh?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was a Laffy Taffy one. Got me.
Yeah, that's the ultimate dad joke. All right. Cops say they found an owl in his passenger seat when they pulled him over for a DUI in Arizona. And that's not even the strangest part of the story. Payson PD says they found a little co-pilot earlier Thursday morning when officers performed the traffic stop. As they approached the vehicle, they immediately noticed a bird of prey riding shotgun. And this bird looks half dead right here. Here's the weirder part. Cops say the driver told them he bought the owl at a local gas station. The convenience stores really do have it all. They ain't sold no bird. This nigga lying.
They hamming it up with this little article.
Yeah, they're lying. Well, now it's just as a bizarre mystery. It's potentially a crime, Payson police says it's illegal to transport, possess, buy, sell wildlife in the states, especially expressly permitted under Arizona law. I'll say this last part, we'll move on. The owl was reportedly picked up by the AZ Game and Fish Department after discovery, but it was apparently unable to be released back into the wild due to minor injuries. I mean, they might as well let this nigga keep the bird then. The bird was fucked up, and I mean, they take the bird back, but they can't release it into its natural habitat now because the bird's fucked up.
They probably sent it to Calm.
They feeding this nigga human food. He eating French fries and whatnot. Of course he can't. He's too fat. He can't go back into wildlife now. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah. No thanks, man.
That's wild. You just drinking and riding. You got a freaking owl riding shotgun.
Yeah, the owl was probably loving it.
Mm-hmm.
The owl was here for that, man. And
for the owl to sit there, it must have been cool. Like, just chilling.
Ain't no owl just gonna sit there and not be an owl. You know what I'm saying? Usually, they don't get it twisted. Owls can attack you, and they can hurt you. This was a smaller owl, though. It looks pretty small because they could fit it in a hat.
Yeah,
I've seen owls so big that they scared the shit out of me. And I'll share a quick owl story. I was coming back from Santa Maria. I was taking Highway 166, which is a very windy road. It's a very dangerous road to be on. And there was an owl so big flying towards my truck at night, right, that his wings, I'm not even playing. I was driving a Freightliner Cascadia, right, like a 2011. And you know how the front windshields are pretty wide on trucks. This bird was so big that his wings went from one side of the truck to the other.
It was an owl?
It was a big fucking owl with a big old head. And he was flying, it was at night, and he was flying down on the freeway. Well, not even the freeway, on the highway. And he just flew over the truck and kept going. And I was like I normally, my heart rate don't go up, but it went up. Because a bird that big might go through your windshield.
Yeah, definitely.
That motherfucker. I seen that, and another thing that scared the fuck out of me is I seen a tumbleweed bigger than my truck.
Really?
Bro, the tumbleweed was so big. You know how normally you see a big tumbleweed, it's pretty good size. It was like 9 tumbleweeds that got married and turned into one big fucking tumbleweed, and it was rolling on the same highway, and it was blocking the whole road.
Like a tumbleweed orgy?
Nigga, this was a tumble demon. And it was like, it took up both lanes, bro. I had never seen no shit like this. And imagine being on just a 2-lane highway at night. It probably was 1 a.m. And the tumbleweed blocking both lanes. And I had to drive through it like, oh fuck. And I blew the fucking thing up. Like
it just busted.
It just busted open.
That's wild.
I was just like, dude, what the fuck? The owl, now the tumbleweed? Somebody trying to kill me out here.
Yeah.
You want to elaborate on the owl, man? You seem like you got you got some owl knowledge here.
Well, I just was because I just Googled the story too. Mm-hmm. They said they actually went back to the guy's house and they found a piglet, an Eeyore, a rabbit.
I'm dead.
Suspects say that Christopher Robin also had a tigger. The owl wasn't alone.
When he poops like, let us out.
No. Oh, bother.
I was thinking about the little Tootsie Roll owl. How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll?
That's they asked him in interrogation.
What was that? Oh, the
how
owl.
Many licks? How many licks does it? No, that's actually a very. I just think that's like probably top 10 weirdest animals you can choose to steal.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But maybe the owl. I don't know. Was the owl injured? Did it say? Is that why he picked it up?
Yeah, that's they tried to put it into the wildlife, but they couldn't because it was injured.
Well, I'm saying the guy who was caught with the owl. Did he try? Oh, the
I don't
person
think it says how he got
it.
it.
Doesn't
Because
say
how do you even catch an owl? Because they do fight, like you say. Mm-hmm. Like they will attack you. So I'm like, how did he catch?
I think somebody evaluated the owl. Somebody at the wildlife. They evaluated the owl, determined he was too hurt.
It was probably some like female owl that rode by and was like, I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy pinned in the passenger side of a drunk man's ride.
No, hey, drunk. Yo,
me.
No disrespect to nobody, but drunk people and homeless people are like. Because I've seen homeless people have like a squirrel on a leash. You like, yo, what type of whisperer are you?
Squirrel confused as a motherfucker. Like, when are we going home?
We're not, exactly.
Yeah, let's not gloss over the fact that this part too. As for the driver, cops say he was arrested for aggravated DUI, possession of methamphetamine, and possession of wildlife. So this nigga was on meth and owls. That's fucking crazy.
He was on owls.
Yeah, I actually learned a lot about meth recently.
Oh, what's there to learn?
Really nothing. That during World War II, the Germans were on meth.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. They were on it.
I was like, okay, so it was used for something.
Them niggas is like, Eisenhower.
Exactly.
Wiener Schnitzel.
Exactly.
Wiener Schnitzel. We've been up 25 days straight.
In a row. That's probably how he was up late enough to catch an owl, because they nocturnal as hell. You didn't catch an owl during the day.
Yeah, you can't catch an owl.
All you had to do to beat the Germans is give them some melatonin.
I'm dead.
Like, oh shit, I'm too sleepy. Oh, fuck. The Hindenburg is going down. No.
I said they did in 3 days what they thought was going to take 2 weeks. Meth is amazing.
Yeah, man. Not only them too. I think it might have been the Japanese that also took meth-like things. I think it was the Japanese Air Force. I could be fucking wrong. So people listening, don't fry me for that. But I'm trying to figure out. I think it might have been the Japanese. It could have been. But they took something, but I think it was like heroin. Yeah, I think it was like heroin. And back in the day, they was taking opium and shit. Not so much just the Japanese, but they had something called opium dens. Motherfuckers just went there to get high.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, nuts. It's a lot of stories of people getting high, man.
Yeah,
a lot of these ancient civilizations, like you wonder how they come up with some of the stuff they came up with.
Yeah,
a lot of them were they were doing psychedelics too.
Yeah. That's why when people be asking about pyramids, you'd be like, they was just on drugs. That's how they built pyramids that big back in the day with no technology.
Dude, there's some shit that we don't know, because when I talk about pyramids to people, they're like, "Oh, this is what they did." It's like, dude, if you just believe that, there's more to that.
Exactly.
This is this perfect structure that's got like 2,300,000 stones that are over 6 tons a piece, perfectly stacked all the way to the top, perfectly cut.
And humans did that with no technology.
It's like, come on, motherfucker. There's no way. And then they had to take these stones miles away.
Exactly.
And transport them. Who's doing that?
Exactly.
Me and Eddie brought these things up, like up this like 5 flights of stairs, and we was like, never again.
Yeah.
But I will say, the reason I believe that those humans made those things is because black people made America, and the slaves over there built, quote unquote, built the pyramid. So it kind of you know, you
Honestly,
could do anything with a slave.
That wasn't slave power, man. That was Wakanda. I don't know what the fuck was going on over there.
That vibranium.
Them niggas had vibranium over there.
something.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a whole lot more we don't know. But yeah, shout out to this owl, yo. Hope the owl is okay. You know.
Yo, I don't give a hoot.
Yeah.
That was not supposed to be that funny.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's probably just how I was reading it. I was reading it like they wrote it, I guess, how they intended it to be read. Because if you listening to a person that can't read, nothing's interesting or funny because this nigga can't read.
You just focus on him not reading.
You know what I hated during school is when we had reading time. And there would be somebody that couldn't read, and they'd be like, mouse and live and good. Okay, everybody, what'd you learn from that state? You're like, I didn't learn anything. This nigga can't read.
Because I heard singular words, and I didn't hear sentences. I heard he was saying a word at a time he didn't put it together.
This nigga made 4 syllables out of the word life.
Will you stop calling Tyrone to read? This motherfucker can't read. He can't read at his grade level. Get somebody else.
Tyrone barely know how to spell his name.
I used to purposely pick people that couldn't read. I sound like a dickhead for saying this, though. I would read or whatever, and people that were like bullies or whatever, or just assholes, I would purposely pick them. And for some reason, a lot of bullies didn't know they couldn't read.
Yeah.
So I would purposely pick them.
Oh, they knew.
Yeah, and then the thing about it, they was bullies to everybody else. They wasn't whooping on me. So I'll be like,
All you gotta do is put a Harry Potter book in front of him. Now he's gonna stumble over this word.
I'll beat everybody up in this school except Harry Potter.
Crumble.
Go to speech class, buddy. All right, I shouldn't be making fun of illiteracy. You know, but sometimes you got to fight fire with fire, right? Switching gears. Charlotte Hornets bombarded with sexual jokes over CLT jerseys. The Charlotte Hornets unveiled their brand new CLT jerseys on Thursday. And unsurprisingly, it didn't take long for the internet to labask the team with sophomic sexual jokes. Wow, that's some pretty interesting diction they used there. Social media erupted at the sight of the front of the uniforms, giggly over the fact that the quick first glance, the CLT, could look like the slang term for a part of a woman's anatomy. I'm ordering mine from custom with "found it" on the nameplate. One fan wrote. Yeah, I think that, and basically the short word CLT without the I is clit, the woman's clitoris, right? It took a lot of us a long time to find that. When I started having sex, I wasn't thinking about no clits at all.
What was you focused on?
It's just pussy. I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, just pussy.
This whole thing is a pussy, right? you be licking north of the vagina, north of the clitoris. The clitoris is literally right there. Some girls it's a little more difficult to find.
Yeah.
Some of them that should be tucked away.
Yeah.
It's shy.
Some of the girls be having a blanket on it. You're like, damn, that clit is back there. But no, I think that the people that create these jerseys, by the way, it's a nice jersey, but the people who create logos or jerseys or designs, like, do they not have the foresight to see that this could be literally unraveled and turned into a joke, right? I mean, if you wanted to do Charlotte Hornets, I think that, I don't know. And then CLT is supposed to be Charlotte. Is that how that's what it's supposed to be? You couldn't put the whole fucking word on the front?
Yeah. They didn't think it all the way through.
I'm trying to be too cool, man.
The worst part is they signed Leangelo, so now on the team they got 2 balls too.
Oh my God, yeah, it's worse.
Clits and 2 balls.
The Clits got 2 balls on the team.
Yeah, they got clit. They got clit on the front of the jersey, and to make it worse, if these guys got a bad record, people gonna be like, "Yeah, we beat them pussies up."
Yeah, it's just failure.
Charlotte is really CHA. That's kind of how I
CHR probably.
No, see it like literally CHA.
They've always.
Oh
they
yeah,
used
that's what
to,
they
Did they not have CHA jerseys before?
I think they have had something, or at least when you
They
know
never
at
had
the
a brief-
basketball, you know, at the bottom of the basketball
The score.
Yeah, it'd be like Lakers. It'd be LAA.
and then Cha.
Yeah, something, but not clit. I don't know where they got that from.
Yeah, Clippers is LAC. Lakers is what is it? It's not LAA. It's just LA.
LAL.
LAL. Exactly. Yes, it is. But yeah, Charlotte, I think is CHA. So why the fuck couldn't they just do that?
Yeah, I don't know where they got CLT from.
Maybe we're the problem.
Hey man, I don't know. No, we're not the problem. We know we just you can't stop what your mind is trying to like. This sticks out, man. You got clit on the front of a jersey. That's like you coming out with you got a jersey that says DIC on the front.
Yeah.
Like motherfuckers are gonna be like, haha, that's hilarious. You're like a real company with the name Dick on the front of your jersey. Like, come on, man. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they got to do better. The jerseys actually look cool, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, see. Oh, here's the older jersey right here. It says CHA on the front.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah,
CHA.
exactly.
So why would they put that on there?
Change the acronyms.
Yeah, I don't get that. Yeah, leave that acronym alone. So from now on, folks, whenever you create a logo or brand, whatever, make sure you take time to sit down with maybe at least 4 to 5 people and just like think about how they could tear this thing apart. Like, how could they unravel it? How could it be copied? Is it original enough? Like, you got to have these conversations, because if you just put this out and say, hey, this sounds really cool. If a guy created this, I feel bad for him. Here's why. This nigga don't know where the clitoris is. He don't even know what the word means. This guy's probably 50 years old and doesn't know where the clit is at. And his wife is just too embarrassed to tell him.
They should release these or wear them only during like Women Empowerment Month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why did you say that with such seriousness?
They might as well. All the women going down, what do you call that? The slut walk with Amber Rose.
Yeah.
We are clits. We are clits. Walking
All
down.
number 1 jerseys, so
Yeah.
clit on the front and ball on the back.
Oh man, nah. On the back it just say sexually empowered. That's the new terminology they're using.
Sexually empowered.
Empowered, like sexually liberated. Right? I never do the sexuality was something you ever had to fight for. You just fucking or you're not.
They don't want to be called hoes. That's the biggest thing.
No, I don't think you call a woman a hoe, but a hoe is a hoe, and a hoe is a person. I just think that word has been designated to women too much, and that's not fair, because there's men, there's hoes out here like a motherfucker. But they just trying to rebrand it. But truth be told, you still a hoe, though. You can't escape that.
I will say that if you just acknowledge that you are a hoe, nobody will call you a hoe.
Nah, they still gonna call you a hoe, bro.
But you knew that.
Nah,
already.
if you own it, it don't even have the same
like,
power.
Yeah, it don't hit the same. You can't even be like, shit. Everybody, it's just like,
I know.
everybody knew that already.
Yeah, it was like, you slept with me. What that make you? And you'd be like, well, I guess I'm a hoe too.
Yeah.
You heard that?
There's a cough or something? Their homeless cough is
Stepped on our
different,
whole
dude.
podcast.
That homeless cough be different. He said, "Ha!"
That definitely has start of another pandemic written all over it.
Yeah, the homeless dude. This nigga bringing back old diseases.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The old cough is different.
he said, "Ah."
He probably 18 years old. You know you age differently when you're homeless. You age in dog years when you're homeless.
Yeah, he got one of the diseases nobody got. This nigga got polio now. This motherfucker got tuberculosis outside.
That definitely, yeah.
You imagine that? Oh, I don't know what it is, and I have deep empathy for homelessness, but at the same time, they're just like anyone else. I can find a joke. I can find a joke there. And the homeless cough is a very dangerous cough. A mask, one of those paper thin masks, you need an N95.
Yeah.
You shake a homeless person's hand, you might as well just touch a garbage pail. Just go touch a dirty trash can.
Are you going?
It's crazy.
I'm trying to normalize homelessness, Keith. Let me fucking finish.
He said I'm trying to normalize it. As if it's not.
Oh man,
That's crazy.
oh yeah, man. I don't know where we got off on this. I think the homeless cough really. I think you could really determine between a regular person's cough. It's like a homeless cough. Like this nigga ain't had a checkup.
Wow. Ooh, you cough like you got a house. How you doing? That's crazy.
Oh man.
You cough like you got a medicine cabinet.
Man.
That's crazy.
You ever seen a person that probably was, unhoused person? I'm trying to normalize it.
What? There's none of
If they sneeze, I seen this dude sneeze one time and it looked like 20 ounces of mucus fucking flew out.
Nice.
He said, that shit came out. I'm like, dude, you could put out a flame with that much mucus.
He said an unhoused person.
You know how we're trying to, create
changing words. We won't call girls hoes. We call them sexually empowered.
Yeah, sexually liberated. We're giving everybody pronouns now.
Yeah.
If you're broke, you're I don't know what you call it, financially.
Between jobs.
In transition.
Exactly.
There you go. Yeah. Financially transmitting, whatever you call it. Oh man.
Trans financial.
Yeah, there you go. I don't have a lot of money, but I am trans rich at this moment.
I identify as rich.
I identify as rich.
That's crazy.
This nigga got negative $30 in his
Trans
account.
financial. I like it. That might be one I might do.
Man.
That is crazy.
Yeah, women won't go for that. They'll be like, you are not trans rich in my house. You better get a job.
That's discrimination.
Yeah, we got to chill with this pronoun stuff because we keep pushing it. We're trying to be progressive, but at some point, this shit's gonna come to an end. It's gonna come to a head one day when we're trying to give something pronouns it shouldn't have it.
No, that we person threw me off.
What?
She was like we, or the person was like we, ours.
Yeah.
Us. That was their pronouns.
Yeah, I'm getting to the closer I get to 40, the less I just don't care about what this stuff. I'm just be like, lady, speak English.
Yeah, I don't do good with nicknames.
What do you mean?
These are all nicknames.
Yeah,
you are what I met you as. Like,
Yeah.
You can't all of a sudden tell me, hey man, don't call me Keith, call me KJ. Like,
Come
boy,
on,
you are
man.
Keith.
He's like, actually, we identify as werewolves. This dude cracked a joke actually on TikTok. I seen it. He's like, I'm getting fucking tired of this shit. I told my job I identify as a cat. They don't give me no fucking cat litter in the bathrooms or nothing. I'm quitting. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I
You start identifying as animals. That's crazy.
Basically, people already do that. They call them furries.
I thought that was like a sexual thing, though.
It's not always sexual. But sometimes it's wild. Sometimes they on those uniforms, they don't even get out of them. They just be urinated and dookie in those uniforms.
That's wild.
That's that's beyond kinky. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, furries, and they literally go to they go to the extreme. They be on their knees, crawling everywhere, and that shit's
like
wild.
in their sex life type stuff.
It's just they just like feeling like submissive, like an animal. Yeah, that's what they do, man. They got what thing guys call a furry convention too. Where they all come together and
you know what?
It's just a bunch of mascots fucking each other,
but
man.
that's what kills me. It's no matter how you are, there's always a group for you.
Right.
Like,
That's facts.
how you find 100 other people just like you? That is
Right.
That's great. Some people.
You'd be out like, nigga, is that the Arizona Cardinals mascot?
Yeah. What? Benny the Bull? What are you doing here?
Benny the Bull out there with his dick out.
Exactly. Clipper Darrell, you a human. You're not supposed to be.
Oh man, what's the hockey team here? The Condors, right?
Yeah.
You see a condor. You see a condor with a cock just sticking out the front of it.
Carrying the owl from that nigga front seat. There's two birds in one stone.
Oh man. Oh, that's a terrible saying.
Kill two birds with
Think
one
about
stone.
how much we just like celebrate slaughtering animals to come up with that statement. Kill
I
two
ate some
birds.
chicken earlier, so
Yeah, I did too. But it's like I never thought about killing two birds with one stone. How big is the stone? Fuck.
I was gonna say that's actually pretty. It's actually pretty cool.
Pretty impressive.
Like if you can bounce the stone off one bird and hit another one, you talented.
This nigga playing Angry Birds. He using math to kill birds.
Only David got skills like that with the stone.
Oh man, nah, that's not true. The motherfuckers in them other countries really be stoning people.
Yeah,
they got real.
Well, stoning came from the biblical days.
Yeah. Imagine how many stones you got to get hit with to die.
That's a trash way to like try to hurt somebody.
It's a
Throwing
process
rocks.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yo, that's personal though. Like I'm gonna take this rock and hit you with it.
Mentally and physically. Imagine wading through all the rocks that missed.
Yeah. Yeah.
The cold part about it is our streets ain't set up like that.
What you mean?
Like you can't really get stoned no more because like it's just street like asphalt and stuff.
I disagree because in the hood they don't be fixing the streets, so you can just pick up parts of asphalt and throw it at people.
Yeah, you do got to find a lot of rocks to kill. I wonder how many rocks it takes to like kill somebody.
Because people is dying from getting stoned.
Hell yeah.
Niggas need to put the guns down and just start stoning people again.
Oh, man, that they won't know who did it. You ain't no fingerprints on stones. Shit. Good luck finding the forensics on that one.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody dying from like getting stoned. Oh, cuz hit me with a stone.
He stoned me. He stoned me.
I don't even know. No, imagine he lives. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I just woke up and he was hitting me with a rock, cuz. And from that moment, like, I knew my life flashed before my eyes. The police came and they saved me.
Like a documentary. Like Vlad TV.
Imagine if the dude that do it got a reputation. Oh, that's a little stony cuz.
A little stony.
That's stony cuz. That's the West Side Stoners over there. Damn, that's crazy. They didn't get their name from smoking weed. They got their name from stoning people.
Rocks.
Stoning.
That's
Bro,
crazy.
they show stonings on the news, on the world news.
Like in the Middle East, huh?
Yeah, in the Middle East, they be like, I stone you. They just picking up motherfucking anything. This dude picked up the football-sized stone and threw it, but he was too weak. He didn't go very far. You got to get up close with them big ones. That's like throwing a shot put or something.
Yeah, stone
rocks
and
be
rock.
heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could run fast, though, you ain't got to worry about getting stoned. You just outrun the stones.
Yeah, running a zigzag. That's what they teach you.
Like you get usually when you get stoned, like they surround you or you walk. Like I think like when Jesus was getting stoned, I think he was just walking down a path of people, like a parade.
Can you
almost.
imagine that? Jesus is minding his business and they start stoning him. Be like, man, y'all niggas is tripping.
No, I don't know. I wonder, did Jesus ever say like, ow? Like, did he feel? Or did he just take it?
Yo.
He built up a tolerance. Mentally, he might have been different.
Yo, I heard something.
Jesus had the Mamba mentality.
Jesus definitely had Mamba mentality.
Dang.
That's who I was going to sit through it. Because I would have been ready to die for y'all sins. And then got up there and got hit with 2 stones. I'm like, all right, never mind. All right, let me down. I can't do it. Pops, I can't do it, bro.
Get me down.
Okay,
Get me down.
They just going to have to, hey, look, man, look.
They gonna have to die.
Yeah. You know
That's
what?
funny.
Fuck it. You just come down. Andrew Schultz just told a joke, and Charlemagne's eyes got big when he said it. But it was like a biblical joke that he had heard. He heard it on secondhand. And they talked about how Jesus looked. Like, he's like, Jesus looked like he was actually in pretty good shape. Mm-hmm. And then somebody said, yeah, he did CrossFit.
That's funny.
That is hilarious.
I was like, oh, wow.
That
And
is
Charlemagne's eyes got big. He's like, oh, my God, Schultz. Oh, my God. Yep.
That's
Well, we've
hilarious.
exhausted this topic. We just been going on a tangent this episode. I apologize.
Yeah, shout out to Jesus.
Yeah, shout out to Jesus. And
Shout out to Unhoused.
Shout out to the Unhoused. The Unhoused low-key sound like a horror movie.
yeah, I know, right?
Ooh.
That might be one of the ones.
Yeah, you got to be careful though. I think when it comes to like, and this is not to be fucked up towards homeless people, but it's sometimes they got mental illness and they can just do things out of the blue. You know, you might come up and see a homeless person and be like, hey, how's it going? And you get too close and they just spit in your mouth. You be like, oh, fuck.
What did
Definitely
Kevin
got.
Hart say?
I probably you got to kill yourself that night. I know. Ooh.
Yeah, or somebody that might be unhoused. We'd be like, thank you, man. Thank you for the change. Try to shake your hand. You'd be like, all right, man, you have a good one. God bless you, man.
Truthfully, I'm gonna tell y'all something crazy, and you guys may look at me different. I have shaken a couple of those hands before because I be feeling like I don't want to like they're humans too.
Mm-hmm.
And I can always go home and wash my hands and clean myself.
And they can't, huh?
So when somebody put their hand out, I don't be wanting to be like, oh my God, ew, no, just take the money and go. I don't be doing that. So I shake those hands and just have faith that ain't nothing gonna happen to me.
Yeah.
Hopefully, homelessness ain't contagious because I might have caught it.
You go to the doctor and he's like, you coming down with a huge case of homelessness right now. You shake this dude's hand, you just took all that bacteria home to the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna shake anyone's hand, let's just be like being honest. You shake anyone's hand, you might want to have some sanitizer on hand.
Yeah, we keep it on deck.
Good, because I've left the gym and I've washed my hands in the bathroom and I see a bunch of people walking right out.
Yeah.
This dude just took a massive dump and walked right out. You can hear his shit. All of that. Motherfucker just got out and walked out. It's like, bro, that ain't cool.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
And he's gonna shake somebody, and I'm really skeptical of shaking most people's hands because it ain't no telling what they was doing. Somebody could have been, playing with his wife's stuff, and he goes out the house and he figured like, oh, my wife's pussy is clean. Let me just go to work.
The
Yeah.
last time
That's disgusting.
the last time my hand stunk from like just shaking a lot of hands was at DJ's wedding. I had to definitely wash my hands.
It's a bunch of hands and shaking
just
everybody's hands.
Clammy hands, sweaty hands, drinks and all. That's
Why?
what it was.
I just don't understand why this is the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah, you never know what people, man.
There was a lot of stanky hands at the wedding.
Yeah, and no tell that stank. Nobody who knows where it came from.
Yeah.
They could have They could have had too many drinks and went out in that parking lot for a little bit.
See, now if I get divorced, I'm like, the hands. There was a lot of stinky hands there. It was cursed from the beginning.
Oh, it would have been crazy. You walk in there and be like, I didn't know y'all had a fish fry in here. Y'all got shrimp in there. Switching gears. Recently, Tom Brady and his wife Gisele Büncdchen got a divorce, and Gisele Büncdchen bought a mansion near Tom Brady's. It is over the pond from Tom's, and I don't know why TMZ made it look like she had moved across the fucking street, but she did not. Okay, Gisele Bünchdchen. Basically is making moves, setting up her homestead right next to her ex-hubby. TMZ has confirmed Gisele closed on an $11.5 million home. Think about how much power you got to have as a rich person or a woman. Because she made more money than Tom, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's fucking nuts. She's like a supermodel slash like entrepreneur slash whatever, right? Home Miami Beach area.
Tom took a lot of pay cuts though.
What you mean?
That was like his career. He
Yeah, it
would take
was.
pay cuts.
Yeah.
If he was really getting maxed out like he was supposed to, it might be different.
Yeah, easily.
If
Yeah.
she was getting maxed out like she was supposed to, it might be different too.
Wow. That's a hot take. This guy's saying Tom's not performing in the bedroom.
Performing on the field.
You can't do both. I
I
can't
don't
be the
know,
best
man.
football player in the world and
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Slinging dick like that.
Who knows, man? Our Miami Beach, right across the street from Tom Brady, is building a house. And she building an $11 million house. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Sources connected with the former couple tell TMZ Tom knew Gisele was buying the house, and it all has to do with co-parenting, making it easy for the kids to go back and forth. Gisele's home is 6,600 square feet.
that's not
and it has,
true.
huh?
I'm sorry. That's not true.
What they're saying?
Well, the house is in Miami. Tom plays football for the majority of the year in Tampa Bay.
Right.
I think it's like a 4-hour drive or something.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe in the off season. Who knows? I don't know. They're bright and stuff.
That's just right.
Yeah, square feet has all the bells and whistles. A home theater, a gym, a playroom for the kids. It has a dock out back, just like Tom's. First broke the story Gisele's purchase. Either she may be intending on dating another athlete or hoping Tom comes back over there. I don't know.
I'm gonna be sliding.
That's good. The thing about it is, if somebody else is fucking Gisele Bündchen, and I don't know who that is. It's kind of like, I hate to say this, but like when it comes to Beyonce, like who is she gonna date if she left Jay-Z?
Obama.
Obama's married. That ain't gonna happen.
I don't know. Back in the day, there were the rumors that like her and LeBron were cheating with each other. And that was one where I was like, that's all she can go date.
That's a fact.
from
Like,
Jay-Z.
from Jay-Z.
is another billionaire who's
Yeah.
an athlete. You
Right.
can't even go date another musician. Like,
yeah.
it's the only way you can. Where
Yeah.
people are like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, because I think when it comes down to it, anybody else is going to be, I don't want to say a downgrade because that's not true. Maybe the person treats them better. Like, I hate when people say, like, oh, they downgraded or they upgraded. Sometimes the upgrade, you might leave a chick that got a big old perfect booty, a nice body, real pretty, all of that. And now you dating a girl that's a little bit chubby. But the chubby girl is actually the upgrade.
Definitely.
Because she values you, she cares, she listens to you. You guys reciprocate the energy and all of that, right?
And,
You know what's crazy?
and not even value who you already are. Actually raise your value to who you're supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Draining those balls.
You know what's crazy? It's crazy. We never said that about Kim Kardashian.
What do you mean?
Like, Kanye West is arguably the greatest artist of all time.
Right.
And we never once was like, who's she gonna date now? Because, you know, just
Nobody
because she
gave a
got a
fuck.
history. Yeah, she got Pete Davidson.
Yeah, we've already
and other-
witnessed her date less.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
been across. She's been up and down.
Yeah, more than likely the guy's gonna be black. Pete Davidson is the only non-black guy that we've seen her with.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he's the only one. Pete's got the gift of gab, man. He knows how to say the right things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's getting them. But yeah, there's that. I personally think this is just a concept. It's not a fact. With Gisele Bündchen in regards to Tom Brady and him choosing to play football, people are saying he's choosing to play football over his family and all of this shit. And I don't know if that's the case. I think that sometimes women set themselves up the wrong way because they date a highly driven man, and the same thing that drove him to her or drove her to really be with him can also be the reason why they break up. So you wanted a man who was hyper focused on his career, and you were super attracted to the fact that he could hone in and be a champion and be a leader, and it turned you on until it didn't anymore.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes women have an expiration date on their support, and they need to cut that shit out, because what can happen is you love this guy, you supported him until you wanted him to change. That doesn't make sense. I'm not saying she's doing this. This is just a concept. If you meet somebody, whatever they are, they're a top comedian or an athlete or they own a law firm or whatever, usually, not all the time, you either meet that person in their infancy dealing with this thing that they're building and you can see they're already good, or you met them while they're at the top, but they haven't reached the mountaintop yet, but you can see that they're serious about this thing, and you've accepted that and you appreciate that until you no longer do. So how much of that is actually Tom Brady's fault, if that's the reason why they're splitting up?
I don't believe, and this is just all rumors, so who knows what the real reason is. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that, because if Tom Brady stopped playing football, he gonna just do something else that takes up the majority of his day.
There you go.
He already had the deal for being the sports broadcaster or whatever. So it doesn't.
$300 million.
Yeah, and Tom Brady is the type of person, like, I don't imagine guys like him, guys like Jordan, guys like Kobe. I don't think those are guys that can just like quit at doing things cold turkey. Like, if he's not playing football no more, the amount of time that he spent watching film, working out, and all this stuff is going to be spent somewhere else, whether recruiting athletes, running a business, or whatever the case may be. So it's just like you said, you're supposed to like grow with people. You shouldn't be trying to like force them to do,
right.
You should be more supportive in that way. And like, the thing about it too, most people, what is the retirement age, like 60 some years
Probably
old?
64 now.
64.
It's going up.
Right?
They want us to be like Biden by the time we fucking retire.
Yeah, like, and Tom Brady is only in his 40s. You know what I mean? Even with that, he would be still retiring before the average,
Exactly.
the average
There you
person.
go.
So you still got so many
All
years
this
to
life.
live with him. Yeah. So it's just like you said, I think whatever the case may be, you should just be trying to support, your husband and whatever they do.
Here's the thing about Gisele. What Gisele is doing, I don't know if this is who she is or not. Gisele is a supermodel. So every man to her is pretty much disposable, except Tom. Like, she is the breadwinner with every guy she meets. Every single guy. And that comes with a cost. Because a lot of women are like, fine, bye, I'm out of here, right? But when they get a man that's real valuable and they do that, now you're back to square one. Now you're going to look at every dude, because Tom has imprinted her. This is what a lot of women don't realize. When they break up with somebody, even if you're not with them, that man has imprinted you.
Yeah, we don't know who she was dating before Tom Brady.
Yeah, nobody knows because he was insignificant. But now when a woman is with a guy for 12 years, 10 years, whatever, she could move on, but she'll never move on because that guy has an imprint on her. And regardless of what you do, if you don't fill those shoes, you will never fill those shoes. That's why men need to be careful, man. They got to be careful because she was dating Tom. So like when you come into that situation, just realize you ain't really. I'm not saying you should reduce yourself. You just ain't Tom, my G.
There's a there's a song by Black that's called "Elephant in the Room," and the idea of this song is like he's talking to this girl and he's telling her like, don't make me pick between my music and you because I'm gonna pick my music 90% of the time.
Right.
And I think that she probably got dealt like, what do you call that? A dose of reality when it was like, Tom, if this happened, like, Tom, if you don't stop playing football right this moment, then I'm gonna leave. And he was like, the nigga just put on his pads and his helmet and walked to practice.
The thing is, though, he has loved this since he was 7 years old.
Yeah,
you cannot come in there. Sometimes you got to just allow your significant other to do what makes them happy, so that they can come home and be happy with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he could have easily stayed in the house and been miserable, and she would have hated him more.
Yeah.
But because he got to go home and be happy and come home like, babe, guess what? I made a great tackle today. I threw an interception, but guess what? I got it back. Like he could tell them type of tell them type of stories or celebrate Super Bowls with you or whatever the case.
Some of these women don't realize it, but they're trying. Okay, look, Tom is a wild animal. You cannot domesticate a wild animal. What I mean by that is his drive and his passion for what he does is so powerful. Right? This dude was drafted in the 6th fucking round. He was not even supposed to be in the league.
Exactly.
And he literally overcame being a backup to being the best athlete of all time. You think that a person like that can just wire themselves differently after having a drive that long?
He also, because of his journey, because of those things, is probably playing until he absolutely can't anymore because he takes nothing for granted. Because of what I had to do to get here, I'm gonna stay as long as I can because this mean the world to me because of the work I had to put in to get it. And then also he probably, because remember, he did retire for a couple weeks. He probably got home and realized, you know what? I don't even know how to spend this much time with you. I don't even know if I like you enough to spend this much time with you because I never have. Our whole relationship, I've been doing like intermittent fasting with you. Like I always got somewhere else to go. You asked me to spend. So probably the first day, we all, you know, a lot of people say they dealt with this in the pandemic. Like you've been going to work for 8 hours a day and coming home to this person, and then in the pandemic, you realize, oh shoot, do I like you for a full 24 hours?
Yeah. I feel bad for him too because I feel like, and this is a reach, I'm about to say this, but I feel like maybe if somebody like Kobe was still alive, it would help Tom Brady out a lot. Because Tom Brady was able to, Kobe was able to find his thing after basketball. He was able to, you know, make books and movies and also be a coach for his daughters and women's teams. And he was able to find that thing that allowed him to still have that drive and him to be able to coach and help people. But like, there's no comparable for Kobe now. Think about it. Kobe retired at the end of his 30s. What was he, 39 or 40 already?
Kobe retired in 2016. He was born in 78. It's like 39.
He's like 39 going on 40, right, when he retired. Yeah. So he exhausted everything that he had. There's no other player like that. Kobe scored 60 points in his last fucking game. People like Kobe are very rare because people like Kobe happen to be Michael Jordan. We can talk about who's great, who's this, who's that, but the killer instinct that exists with these guys, Kobe, Jordan, Tom. I'm trying to figure out who else has that level of just like
dedication,
maniacal,
to one thing. Because you see with even LeBron, he's doing a bunch of different things while still playing. Kobe did not do anything else until he was done. He gave everything he had to basketball. The same with Tom Brady with football. I think the difference between Tom and Kobe was able to retire peacefully because I think he was more of a forward-thinking person to where he already knew, like, hey, I enjoy art. I enjoy writing. So I'm going to transition to this. I enjoy coaching my daughters. Tom Brady is like, I don't know what I'm going to do without football. So then he goes with something typical. Oh, I'll just go in the broadcast booth. But that's not, that's still, you haven't left the game.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady may never be able to like leave the game of football. Yeah. He may have no other interest. Like, what are even some of Tom Brady's like sponsors? Like, what projects?
Well, he has a whole clothing line. Tom Brady's clothing line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He has Under Armour. He also has he's signing athletes and stuff like that. But
yeah,
most the bulk of his name
is football related.
Football,
yeah. So Tom is like, bro, I can't retire with you. How about you stop modeling? How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
She'd probably be like, what?
Yeah, I think she probably would do it though, because girls got different mentalities. But I think that instead of like making him quit football or retire, it should be more emphasis on like what is the quality time look like? Because if imagine like Gisele saying like, yo, I want you to retire so you can spend more time with us. And then, he's like, all right, I'll retire for 2 weeks. And we just sitting around the house. And I'm just like what am I supposed to do?
I'm just not productive.
So not even that like he don't like her, or, they don't know what to do together. It's just like, I could be happy playing football, practicing 4 times a week, whatever the case may be. And then on Mondays after our game, we could spend all day together. And we got that one day out of the week that we spend the most quality time versus me just not being fulfilled or me not being happy doing whatever Sunday to Sunday, and I'm not doing anything. We just like sitting around like cooking meals together.
Yeah, women will leave a man for the same thing that attracted them.
Yeah.
And I think with Tom, man, like it's almost like if you're a really handsome dude and your wife or your girlfriend knows you're really handsome, and when you met her, there probably was other women that were probably trying to get noticed by you, and that's never going to stop because an attractive woman or attractive man, they can't control that. The type of energy and the flirtatious nature that other people may present to you without it be unsolicited, but it becomes a problem once you and that person become exclusive, and it's like, I don't know, you just always they can flirt, but you don't turn it down. You're just always doing this, and it's like, now it's a problem. And it's the same way when it comes to something or somebody like Tom, where Tom is the tall, handsome quarterback that's 45, that's still playing, and that hasn't been done he's the oldest. He's got a new stat every other week. The oldest quarterback to throw this many touchdowns, the oldest quarterback to do this or that and the third. And I think that this is a new chapter in his life. I think that Tom Brady, and I hope to God this doesn't happen, Tom Brady might have to get hit so motherfucking hard that it ends his career.
But his competitiveness is what has him back playing. Like, men have an ego. You think it's easy for Tom Brady to sit on? He's already, he starts his career just competing with his contemporaries, who he's playing with now.
Right.
Working to be better than Peyton Manning or working to be, then that's done. It's solid.
Been done for years.
Yeah, that's done. Everybody knows Tom Brady's the best in the game. Now I'm competing with history.
Yeah.
Now I'm competing with history where, is he better than Joe Montana, Dan Marino, all these guys? He's going for that. But then he tries to retire, go home, sit on the couch, and you hear about these kids, Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, or could they be the next Tom Brady? Are they going to catch Tom Brady and win his Super Bowl? So now he's sitting on his couch like, well, damn, let me come back and put this out of reach. So I feel like Tom Brady, the whole time he's been competing with his current, then he was competing with the past. Now he's also being driven with the competition of these future kids to show you like, hey, look, man, old man still got it. Don't play with me, Pat Mahomes or whoever else, Josh Allen.
Yeah, Tom is so good. no bullshit. Tom is so good, it might literally take another 50 years for another quarterback to have a comparable career.
It may never happen.
Yeah.
What is he at 7 or 8 rings?
Fuck. You know?
It's a lot when we start losing count.
It's a lot, man.
Like, it's crazy. Like, and football is the hardest sport to win a ring in.
I don't know.
Basketball
about
is easy to. Well, baseball.
Multiple rings.
Baseball is
can be
fucking
tough.
hard.
Baseball.
Baseball's hard.
Yeah, but think about how great a guy like Peyton Manning is to only win 2. Aaron Rodgers got 1.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Marino has none.
Mm-hmm.
Like Joe Montana and Tom Brady are like in a class of their own as far. But then Joe Montana won all his rings with one team,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
with a great supporting cast, great receivers, the
And
same
he got
coach.
kicked out when he was too old.
Yeah,
You sure did. Yeah.
Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay and winning outside of Bill Belichick and never having the same team. Never. If he had Randy Moss his whole career and Bill Belichick, that's same as Joe Montana having Jerry Rice and Bill Walsh.
Tom Brady is so great that I don't think he's going to retire after this year. I think that his contract's going to be up with the Bucks, and he's going to recreate another culture somewhere else.
If he do that,
And I think that the team, the team that he might do it with, potentially it could end up being like the Saints, or it could end up being. It ain't gonna be the Niners because our coach is too ignorant to get Tom. Tom, wherever Tom goes, he has to run the show.
he better come get that Silicon Valley money and with the Niners and go ahead and.
He not gonna do it.
He might go to the Raiders.
Oh God, because he wants a challenge.
They might get Derek Carr out of there.
If he go to the Raiders, if he went to the Raiders, I hate to say it, but no one's really successful there.
Yeah,
That's why if he does it,
he could do it though.
Tom Brady is like, okay, there's about 3 athletes who are you do not bet against ever.
Right.
Yeah.
You bet with them, and if you lose, you just live with it because you're gonna be mad. You don't
Floyd,
bet against Michael Jordan,
Michael
obviously.
Jordan, Floyd.
Floyd, exactly, and Tom Brady. Do not bet against them ever.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm looking at some scores right now. Niners fucking up. They down 10-3 to the Chargers. They tripping.
Oh man.
The Raiders lost again. God damn, they sorry. At this point, the Raiders might as well start a OnlyFans. These niggas is trash. Jeez,
In
man.
the last 12 years, they like
God damn.
3,000. They like 7 and 3,000.
Yeah, the Vikings they balling out, man. They're balling out right now. Fuck, the Eagles balling out too. They play tomorrow night.
They still undefeated.
Who, the Eagles? I think so. Let me see.
Eagles is flying
8
high.
and these they 8-0. Fuck.
The Raiders called Rich Gannon and asked, did he want his job back?
You know Tom Brady's down in Tampa killing it.
Yo, you think about what happens with the Raiders when they get these big players. They got Randy Moss on almost fucked his career up until he went to the Patriots after that.
Ain't that crazy?
They doing the same thing to fucking Adams right now.
Devontae
Adams is gonna have to team up with Tom Brady somewhere else.
I don't know. The Raiders just need a whole rebrand.
Yeah, they do. That they need to change the colors and everything. Just ditch the whole Raider outfit.
Yeah. You know how like the Oilers is with the Texans now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, or not the Titans, is it?
The Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, Tennessee Titans. Yeah, they just need to change the name, the city, everything.
They already in Vegas, so they got I don't know what they call them. The Las Vegas slots.
Las Vegas Clits.
Okay.
They're getting smashed out there. They can't put the ball in the end zone. They are beating the hell out of those clits today. They're going in and out of there. They're going balls deep in the clits. Oh man. All right, switching gears. Recently, a few weeks ago, my co-host Keith here, he kind of put things in perspective for me, and he kind of like in that moment, he like checked me in a brotherly, friendly way. He said, because sometimes I'll get caught up in saying things about myself that are kind of reductive, and I don't even realize it. It'll be like, man, look, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I know it's better to do that. And he'll be like, that's just pointless conversation. You shouldn't be speaking about yourself in a disempowering way to make a point, because what happens is if you do that enough, you start to believe that shit, and that's not good. You know, not only that, it's like you don't have to front or be fake about anything. It's just the fact that when you reduce yourself enough, you might get in a situation where you want to have a conversation, but you've talked yourself out of being smart enough to be speaking in a certain conversation. Mm-hmm. And it's detrimental long term. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like a woman saying, like, look, I may not be Miss America, but I'm not that bad. Look, whatever. Like, that's just nonsense. Mm-hmm. It's just a waste of conversation to do that. And Keith was right. It is disempowering. Mm-hmm. Because, like, for example, we want to turn this podcast into one of the most listened to podcasts in America, right? And the thing about it is, if I said, like, look, it'll never be the most listened to podcast in America, but hopefully we could do okay. Why would you even say that? Why would you speak those things into existence? Because your thoughts and your words become things eventually. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts can become things. So since you understand that, you need to watch your fucking mouth and you need to watch how you talk about yourself. Don't be the person that's kind and nice. You speak to everybody fine and you treat everybody respectful, but you don't even respect yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of being kind to everybody when you're not even kind to yourself? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not that smart. Oh, I'm not that pretty. Oh, I don't look this good. Oh, I don't got that. I don't got that car. But it's like, stop, bro. Mm-hmm. It's you can recognize something may need improvement or whatever the case, but you don't have to slander your own character to do that.
Yeah. A lot of our insecurities come from, like, the way we communicate about ourselves.
Right.
You know, like, even, you know, especially with women, you know, in terms of, like, them looking at Instagram or whatever, thinking they're lesser than other women that are on there and all these things. And it's really just a conversation that they're having with themselves. And, you know, if we're able to practice, and it doesn't have to be, you know, I'm the baddest girl in the world, or I'm the most beautiful person ever. Just positive statements about yourself can really change the way you actually view yourself. And I think, you know, in terms of, like, what Eddie was talking about, like, one day he was saying, like, yo, I have bad genetics, so I haven't been able to drop weight as fast as I want to and stuff mm-hmm. like that. And I was just telling him, like, you know, there is some science and research behind that statement, but at the same time, like, you're speaking to yourself in a disempowering way.
You are.
You know, you can change that narrative and just say, like, I'm going to work hard and I'm going to lose weight. And you could leave the statement at that.
That's it.
But, yeah, it's just a lot of the times, you know, our word is extremely powerful. Our word is, like, essentially all you have. You know what I mean? Right. And that quote is everywhere in terms of, like, you know, it's in the Bible.
Yes.
It's in, you know, I'm sure every other, you know, historically great literature book. And, you know, I think that a lot of people don't realize, like, some of those conversations are only, you know, highlighted by somebody else, you know, speaking to you about it. Like, yo, like, you, excuse me, like, I remember once, my guy, Nam, he was like, yo, man, I see you out there, you doing your thing. And, you know, sometimes we like to be humble, like, yo, I'm trying, man. I'm just out here. I'm just doing my thing. He's like, no, you're not trying, like, you actually doing. And I was like, yeah, I am doing. Like, I'm really out here, like, doing my thing. So I think just sometimes, like, we just got to be very mindful of our word. And I think another point that I was thinking about too, like, a lot of times, you know, with the Black community, a lot of us, we have that same conversation. You know, I can't get no house because of this. I can't get no good job because of this. My mom did this to me, so I've been struggling ever since. And, you know, they ain't no jobs for Black people out here. Like, I hear this by a lot of people. And, yes, you know, some of the statements are, you know, they are true. Like, it's difficult to get a job, you know, when your name look a certain way. And, you know, statistics show if your hair look a certain way, it might be more difficult to get a job. But what we also know is that there is an example of very successful Black people. Like, we just talked about Jay-Z and Kanye, and all these people are P. Diddy.
Yeah.
You know, Black billionaires. So it's possible. You know what I mean? So why not curate the conversation and start sounding like it's possible versus, all these other, it's all these laws are preventing us from doing this and doing that. And it's difficult for black people to thrive. And I think, albeit like Kanye West is having a manic episode right now, but I think that in terms of like some of those conversations, I think that's what he was trying to articulate, but he just didn't say it that well. It's like it's just the mindset that we have. Like we got to get out of that mindset that we can't do anything because as long as we breathing, as long as there's no laws prohibiting anything, we have the physical capabilities
100%.
to go make something happen.
There's two things though. There's the one where, okay, first of all, none of these things we say about ourselves are ever based in fact. It's usually something subjective. So when the girls say, I don't look as good as Miss America, you might be talking to a person who thinks you look way better than Miss America. So there's no fact in that. But it's also we sometimes are afraid that we won't achieve what it is we're trying to achieve. So we put the excuse out there early to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
So like if Eddie says, my genetics won't allow me to. Now if I don't reach my goal, I already let y'all know it was my genetics that did it instead of just saying like no matter what, I'm gonna do it. If I don't go get that job or that career I want, I already let y'all know I'm black in America. It's tough. So I already told y'all, even though as Keith said, there's plenty of examples of people who've already done it. The other thing we do is we are afraid of expectations. So we try to lower them before we tell you what we're going to tell you. So again, when you say, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but right there, I'm letting you know I'm about to say something that I believe. And if I'm wrong, I already told you I'm not the smartest person in the world. Or it's like when people cook for you, I'm not the best cook in the world, but this is my macaroni and cheese. Now, number one, by lowering your expectations, if your macaroni and cheese is disgusting, won't nobody say nothing because you already told me. Or if it is good, now you got to exceed expectations, which makes you feel even better.
Great point.
So I think that we do that a lot. We try to because even people ask me about coming to a comedy show, like, are you funny? And instead of just being like, yeah, I'm funny, like da 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 da, like being like, because one, you don't want to come off as arrogant, right. But you also don't want to tell them like, yeah, man, you ever seen Eddie Murphy? Nothing compared to me.
Oh man!
Like you don't want to do that, and then they get there, and then you were good, but you already done told them.
Yeah,
they was expecting like the greatest ever. Yeah, and then you was just good, the best in the room that night.
I'm trying to figure what's the best way to come at that. Somebody says, "Are you good about that?" I'll be like, "Hey, you know what? I'll let you determine that."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's usually what I say. Like, you just got to come to the show and see, because again, these things are subjective. You're gonna decide. Right. Literally 100 people in a row could have told you like, yo, that is the best shirt I've ever seen, shirt design, hat design, whatever. Right. And then that one person be like, bro, that is horrible.
Yeah.
100%.
It's all like, if it's not based in fact, then create your own reality.
I think we don't realize it, but sometimes we're trying to like navigate the perception of how we're perceived when we do this shit. We don't realize it. Like, it'll be like, look, I'm not the smartest person in the world. So if somebody does get the information and it may be off, it's kind of like, I'm not that smart anyways.
Yeah, and you already told them.
And that's not okay.
Yeah.
That's really not okay. I've done that a million times, but it becomes very common when you've done it over and over again. And as your self-awareness starts to rise and the people around, when your self-awareness goes up, the people around you change. And those people tend to think more like you. Not in an echo chamber type way, but in a way like, hey, Eddie, you said that. That's like not true. Like, I disagree with that. People that push back on you, people that tell you like, hey, like, stop talking bad about yourself. Normally, if you're around a bunch of people who don't have any trajectory in life, they're not very productive, they won't push back on anything because they ain't shit.
But they also too those are your real friends, the ones that won't tolerate you. Because you didn't tell Keith, you're not the smartest person in the world. You said that about yourself. Keith very easily could have let that slide, but because Keith genuinely cares about you, he's like, hey, watch your mouth when you talking about my friend. you my friend, and you can't even talk about him like that. Watch your mouth. Yeah. Watch your tone type stuff. So your circle should hold you accountable for your words, because the right thinking type of person understands like, yo, words are everything. We can't sit here. You guys can't sit on this podcast and say, we're going to try to be the number one podcast in America.
You can't do that.
No, one day we're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Try is not an option. We're going to keep going until we do it.
Yeah, and if you don't think like this, there's a problem, because we're all going to die someday.
Yeah.
We're not getting any younger. We have to do the groundwork to get there. So when you say like, I don't know about this, don't be nonchalant about it. Put that shit out there, because you're going to do it. You've been doing it. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
That also changes your approach.
Yes.
Because again, the idea of the genetics example, that changes the way you approach working out or dieting. Because it's like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and diet and work out, and due to my genetics, I might be wasting my time. Whereas if you like, no matter what, I'm gonna do it. It's like I'm doing it and I'm staying disciplined until it works.
Right.
And that like shift changes like the intention you pursue something with.
I think the statement I made had merit, but it was also wrong. And here's what I mean. When I was 29, I went on a cut, and I lost a good amount of weight.
Yeah.
And I got down to probably like 220 something, 230. I was looking really good. But as you do get older, your metabolism slow down. So does your testosterone.
Yeah.
Right? You stop producing it. So you're up against more when you're in your late 30s, which is a fact. But can you still lose the weight? Yes.
Yeah.
And genetics were already a factor before. But whatever you got, you can always improve. You have to learn how to do it. But the conversation in general is meaningless.
Yeah.
It's a meaningless conversation. Like, oh, my genetics is, you just have to finagle and work around it. You have to diet. You have to, whether it's, raising carbs, lowering carbs, figuring out your macros, figuring out your caloric deficit or surplus. There's a science to it. But the conversation that I had was pointless. It's not progressive. It's not a progressive conversation. It's not helping anything. You're just highlighting something that's not positive about yourself, and you bringing it and putting it on the table for nothing.
Yeah.
It's like saying the sky is blue.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Right, exactly.
Like, what does that have to do with anything else?
Has to do nothing else.
I think one of the things that I started doing is like sharing things without without an asterisk next to it, because I think a lot of times what will happen if you're in a space of like creating, let's say you did a skit or something like that, and you're it might be in a rough edit or something like that, and then you send it to somebody to get some feedback, and you be like, yo, it's not done yet. I haven't put all the color grading and all that on it, but yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think. And I think that's kind of similar, like in that way, where we're kind of like setting it up. So it's like, you're kind of setting up the expectation.
Yeah.
But sometimes like people will know, if it's not a finished product, they could be like, oh, okay, I see that you still working on it.
Yeah.
But you kind of like needing it in a way where it's like, I'm not trying to get no real backlash from,
right.
criticism. Yeah. So it's just, and this even like I'm in this seminar talking about money, and it was the same thing. Like, they were basically saying like, you want to have only empowering conversations around money. Think about the way that we talk about money all the time. Like, especially growing up, with our parents telling us like, well, I don't got enough money for that.
Right.
I can't afford that. Put that back. All that stuff is like in our head. And sometimes what will happen is like, when you are successful, when you do have money in your bank and you start to really, save money, and you want some of the finer things in life, that conversation is in the back of your head. Like, oh, I can't afford that. I'm not even gonna look at that.
Yeah. Instead of asking questions like, how can I afford that? Because it's possible, but sometimes asking how you gonna get it is a better question than just flat out saying I can. Like, don't make statements, ask questions.
Right.
We out here making statements all the time. I can't afford that. She'll never like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah, that eliminates the pursuit. Out the gate, you just not even gonna try.
Yeah, and then here's the scary part. You're turning it into a definite statement.
Yeah.
Because you're like, she'll never like me. Nigga, what are you talking about?
You might be her exact type, which like you don't know.
Yeah.
Or his exact type. If you know.
Right. Right. And you never know. You say she'll never like me. That's false. What if you lose some weight, you clean yourself up a little bit, you get financially stable, you get a nice house, car, things of that nature, and she might spin the block.
Or what if you don't do any of that? You just
talk to her.
Because sometimes people will like you based on like, this last person literally verbally abused me, and all you do is uplift me. You filled the space where I was hurting. I didn't even need nobody's money. I have my own career.
Right.
I got my own everything. I don't need you to look a certain way.
Right.
Or not. Or actually, you know what? I prefer a little huskier dude. I don't even like muscles and all that type of stuff.
You know where the clitoris is.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not in Charlotte. So you just never know. Like, don't ever count yourself out before you even get in the game.
Yeah, man.
We just have to like experience life, because sometimes like we'll talk ourselves out of situations.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, this person ain't going to work with me. Like, I know it happens a lot of times with us as far as like content creators and comedians and stuff. Like, we may want to reach out to a certain person, but be like, I know for sure they not gonna respond to my DM. I know they not gonna, answer my phone call. I know they not gonna want me to open up for them or whatever the case may be. But, we just have to learn to experience life and then live with the results. Because they might say no. That girl might not want to date you, but at the end of the day, you don't know until she says yes or no.
And all you're gonna do is return to where you was at before you asked the question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're still gonna be alive.
Like, you literally. Okay, now I'm still single. She said no.
Yeah.
Or now I'm still, doing whatever I was doing before he said no in that DM. Mm-hmm. And then oftentimes too, you find out that these people was waiting for somebody to approach them.
Yeah.
Like that entrepreneur was waiting. He's like, man, I wish somebody would ask me for all this knowledge I got.
Yeah.
Actually, they find it very flattering. Like they're so honored that, like, wow, you want to learn from me?
Yeah. Not only that, dude, like sometimes I have not daydreams, but I have this idea, or I guess you could say the foresight to how I'm going to conduct myself when I come across somebody that may be beneficial to, our podcasting career. Somebody I see out, if I see Charlamagne at the airport, if I see such and such, how I'm going to approach them. Because the reason why these things are important is because when those situations fall on your lap, you could cease up in nervousness if you don't have an idea of how you're going to approach that. So I think it takes a certain amount of confidence to be like, hey, I'm going to play it through my mind. Hey, I don't want to hold you. I don't want to hold, I know you got places to go, but this is what I'm working on here. Or, hey, do you have a moment? I don't want to hold you,
Yeah.
And then present whatever you're going to present to them in a very quick and damn, somebody always got some shit going on. You could present to them in a very quick and professional way that shows them that you're serious about X and Y, asking certain questions. And then from that point forward, you could build relationships that way. But if you come at somebody like you selling CDs in a Walmart parking lot, that's not going to go.
My man.
That's not going to get you very far, man. Like, I literally think about this all the time. Like, who we're going to run into. DJ could be in LA somewhere, and he could be doing a show, and he leaves the show, and all of a sudden, Cat Williams walks up to him. Hey, man, that was a good job, man. What's your socials? What's your Instagram? You know, what's going on? Oh, I listened to your podcast, you and your wife, man. It was a good job.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going to be and when these things are going to happen, but you need to prepare your mind for them before you get there.
Yeah.
I don't think most people talk about that, but I think that's also an important thing. And you have to have the confidence to stand up in those moments and say, hey, I'm going to go for it. Even if they say, hey, man, I don't really want to talk right now. Hey, God bless you. Have a good day.
Yeah. We did this thing, and I don't practice it a lot. I need to start practicing it more, like putting it in my schedule. But we call it mirror work, where you just develop ideas or just like communicate with the person in the mirror. And I don't know what it is, but it does something to the way it resonates with you, where you can kind of like prepare for those type of conversations. Like if you got an interview, or if you going to, you're gonna be in a space where you might run into, you might be at the LAX or something like that, and you just kind of develop these things. It's also a good way to like to practice like delivering jokes and stuff like that, just delivering them in the mirror. Because I don't know how or what the science is behind it, but it kind of resonates with your soul a little bit differently. So yeah, I think it just like having those, like running those conversations through your mind before you have them is just a powerful way to be ready for.
Yes,
But
sir.
it go back to what you said in the beginning about how you talk to yourself.
Yes.
Because when you have a conversation in your mind, you're talking to yourself.
Yes.
So it needs to be positive, and it needs to be something that builds your confidence. Because to even approach that person in the airport when you see them, is going to take supreme confidence in yourself.
Fuck yeah.
Because you got to be able to walk up and say like, "Hey, look, I got the truck. Hey, Charlemagne, been watching you for a while. I got the Truckers Mind podcast. This is what we do, and we believe that we, deserve or will be the top podcast in America one day." Like 100%. You got to, and it's not even arrogant. It's such confidence in your, like you said, your preparation.
Right.
I'm not saying this because I just think I'm dope. I'm saying this because I put the work in.
Yeah.
And I've seen my growth, and I know where I'm at.
Yeah. Another thing too is depending on where you meet them, I've also played in my mind, I want to offer something off the back. So for example, if you're in line and I'm in line, I'm like, hey, let me take care of that for you. Yeah. Let me have get a moment of your time. I'll pay for whatever you want to eat at this little airport lunchroom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Offering them something and not holding them hostage. Like you're trying to pitch them something. You could tell by a person's face when they're disinterested or interested.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't drag it into the ground. Have a business card ready. If you at the airport, have some merch ready. Have some hats on hand. Have some shirts on hand. Offer them something. That makes it more memorable because you got to understand, these are people that are always being pitched something.
Yeah.
And you have to stand out. And not stand out in a fake way, in an organic, real way. Like, this is really who you are. I'm presenting the product to you. Here you go. God bless you. Have a good day. It might not be a week later. It may not be 2-3 months later. All of a sudden, Charlemagne following you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the thing about it, too, is like reps give you confidence.
100%.
Like, I can remember the first time, like, trying to catch a football and I just dropped it. And then you realize, like, through repetition, you
that's why
get
they
on
move
the
you
jug.
That's why they move you to DB.
Truthfully, he got a point.
They put that nigga on defense, yo.
Anyways, you just like just through repetition, just like so, if you're having these conversations, and with yourself or whatever in any capacity, that's just like reps and reps and reps. So when the moment comes, you're always gonna be better on the 20th rep than you are on the first rep.
100%. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned reps. Before we move on, because we're gonna wrap it up after this real quick, but that we talked about that product 409. Mm-hmm. That was 409 trials. Mm-hmm. They got it right once. Mm-hmm. Right.
That's all you need to do is get it right once.
If I lose to you 40 times, let's say we in a boxing match, and you beat me up 40 times, on that 41st time and I whoop your ass, I whooped your ass.
You hear that, Deontay Wilder? Now you get back in that ring with Tyson Fury. Deontay, don't just let him win.
Deontay ain't got no brain cells left, man.
I feel, I'm scared for his post boxing career.
I was a great fighter. That nigga gonna turn into E40.
Yeah, man.
I thought you was doing Tasmanian Devil.
No, it more closer to Taz. Taz is illiterate. Yeah, but yeah, man. All right, let's move on from this. Switching gears. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Generalizations are a cop-out. Basically, what I've noticed about people is if something is wrong, they'll literally generalize women. Like, man, this dating scene is terrible. Women is like this. All they do is this. All women do is this. But I know that's a lie, first of all, because I know all women aren't like that. And I also can look at examples of, people that my friends are married to. I have friends that are married to some awesome women. Mm-hmm. They're very caring, very kind. Actually, I was at my homie's his son's birthday party yesterday. His wife is awesome. Mm-hmm. She organized the whole thing, very nice, very respectful to everybody. She made the food, shook everybody's hands, made sure everybody was comfortable. Just nice, kind, decent women. So when I see these women Nigga, I know you're a liar. All women are not like that.
Yeah.
You just suck, and your pool of women you're choosing from are comparable to you because you suck. That's the truth.
Yeah.
But people do this because it allows them to live in their excuse. Man, all white people racist. I don't trust white people, man. All they want to do is keep you down, man. The white man doing this is like, well, you haven't had a job in 2 years. Ain't no white person stopping you from not working. You just choose to not have a job, motherfucker. That's why your ass ain't got a job. It ain't a white person standing outside your house like, you can't work today. No, you didn't get a job.
Yeah.
But these generalizations and these excuses allow us to be stagnant. And it's the perfect excuse. You know what? I will get a job, but I ain't trying to work to make some white man rich.
You know,
It's like, what?
I had this, I learned that recently too. Like, it's like, I had this script on this website. It's called The Blacklist. And, it was on there, and I got it's a rating out of 10, and I got a 6 out of 10 the first time, and then I submitted it again, and I got like a 5 out of 10 on the second try. And basically, I lived in that like a narrative, right? And the narrative was like, oh, they don't get it. Like, this is a black movie, like, you know, it's a hood drama. They just don't understand it. It's a bunch of people that are reading these scripts and they only like the artsy films, or they only like the Hollywood type of film. And I generalized the whole, like, that whole organization. And what it did is absolve me from actually making my script better. So I was just living in that, like, yo, this is the greatest thing ever. But when I got out of my own way, I realized, like, yo, they weren't like, they might not understand the world, but I'm like, Boys in the Hood was like premiered at Cannes Film Festival, right? And that's like the most prestigious film festival in the world. And when the movie stood up, they gave it like a standing ovation. So I'm like, it's not the genre of the film. It's just like, I got to work on the second act of my script. You know what I mean? And so I completely understand like that world that you're talking about.
The thing is, because I experienced something similar with my now wife. When you are challenged, that's exactly what it is. It's a challenge. So challenges are made to make you feel uncomfortable. And when we get uncomfortable as a defense, we say, you just don't get it, or you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Or instead of, like you say, it sometimes it takes time. That's your initial response. That's what you felt in the very moment. Like 6 out of 10, they just don't get it. But once you get time to calm down and then like receive what's being said to you, then you can with a clear mind say, you know what, let me just take this as a challenge and let me actually act on what is being presented to me, because these people get nothing out of hating on me.
100%.
Yeah.
When I'm talking to my girl and she's challenging me, she's not challenging me to hate on me. She's challenging me because, in fact, she loves me. So yes, I'm gonna give pushback because you've made me feel uncomfortable. So then you wrote this script. The reason you submitted this script is because you loved it. You felt like, all right, that's it right there.
Yeah.
Then it comes back with an even lower score than the first time, and now you really offended. Like, what? Now y'all don't know what y'all talking about.
Yeah.
Once you're able to receive it, you act on the challenge, and then you make it better till one day you get a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And then you can sit back with 2020 vision, hindsight, obviously, and say, dang, I'm glad y'all gave me that 5 and that 6 out of 10, because this 10 out of 10, y'all right. This is way better.
It's way better than
you pushed me past my limit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's like, because my goal, right, is to win an Oscar or whatever the case may be, and what I realize is like it's not on that level as of right now. So they were just giving me, and you're paying the service. I mean, you're paying for them to give you that type of feedback. But in my mind, I'm like, nigga, y'all tripping. Like, I didn't come here to get feedback. I came here to get a 10 out of 10.
You came here to get a reassurance.
Yeah,
of your,
exactly.
BS.
Yeah.
Like we want affirmation of our BS. Sometimes you don't want somebody. You don't want somebody to actually tell you the truth.
100%.
Yeah.
And you ready to argue. You trying to win an Oscar, but you've never won an Oscar, so you don't know how. So you about to argue with the people who do.
100%.
Exactly.
And as far as like a marriage is concerned or that type of scenario, iron sharpens iron. So I wouldn't want my wife out here looking fucking stupid. I'll be like, hey, don't do that. You don't look right doing that. You're better than that. You know, whatever the case. If people that don't care about you watch you fuck up and say nothing,
they'll let your breath stink.
They'll let everything.
It won't tell you.
They'll let everything go just awry and say nothing. They don't give a fuck. But the people who love you the most may offend you, but they're not trying to. They want you to be better. There was about
it's fact.
It's about over 8 years ago before I started trucking, and one of my really close homegirls, she was telling me, man, you got to get out of that place. You're not making any money there. You could do better than that. And I thought it was coming from a place of judgment. Like, oh, because you're doing better now, you want to tell me what I need to do. No, it's because she's seen more potential in me than being at that old job, not making any money and not doing better for myself. And she stated that because she wanted me to do better as a friend, not because she was judging me. But, you know, you look back in hindsight, like, people just want you to be better when they're actually trying to push you.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes we're in different spots in life. Sometimes we're in a spot in life where we're stagnant and there are people around us that are slowly ascending and they start to see a better world for themselves and they'll make a comment at you, but you feel like they're commenting down on you.
Yeah.
They're not
hearing it differently.
So
she's saying like, hey, you should get out of there. But we hearing it like, you judging me because you a nurse now? Or
right.
you judging me because you got a 6-figure job now?
Right.
But you also pay attention to who the information or the criticism or whatever is coming from, because that can help you with how you receive it or the intent. So like with the girl, that's like, if you know this girl is a really close friend of mine,
yes,
she doesn't want to hurt me.
Right.
Just on a very surface level, I know for a fact, well, she don't want to hurt me. So then what she's saying to me can't possibly be to hurt me. Let me listen to it differently.
Yeah.
Than, you know what I'm saying? So like that's what I had to do with my girls.
There
like
you go.
She's not coming from a place of like wanting to see me stay in this spot. So let me actually listen to what's being said and like really listen, not just hear what she said and get offended. Like, what? You're not a comedian. You don't know what you're talking about. What you mean my stage presence could be better? You heard them people in there laughing? She's not thinking about the people in this room laughing. She's thinking about what they gonna laugh at though when you go to a room where don't nobody know you.
Yeah, 100%. That's a great point. And sometimes we comprehend that message that we get from people differently depending on our state of mind.
Yeah.
We may think like, what does this person know about comedy? I've been doing this before I even met her or whatever the case. And it's like, you don't need to be reductive of that person. In that moment, you need to say, okay, let me see if there's merit to this. Actually, let me go back to the video. Let me go back to the video and see, oh, okay, so I was speaking to this side of the room, but I turned right away from him and started speaking to the other side.
Yeah.
You can start picking yourself apart in a good way. You have to make sure that you're weeding out all of your excuses and all of your not wanting to be offended, and try to find the nuance and the legitimacy in a person's statement. Because if not, you just a motherfucker. Have you ever seen a person that stank every day? They always musty. They always stink. Like, none of your friends told you that you stank, man? Like, nobody told you in your life?
You need new friends.
You need new friends. Your butt smells.
That
right?
should be a test. Somebody should just walk through the function musty. And if don't nobody tell you nothing, you got to change your circle.
You're going to be like, all right.
So nobody told you smell like cigarettes and regret? You just walk around this motherfucker like that?
On the flip side, though, what you just said, that's why it's so important as friends, again, like on the last topic, it's so important as friends to be honest with your friends.
Yeah.
Don't talk behind their back or keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Because they literally don't know.
Yeah.
So always be upfront. Like if you watch this podcast and you're a fan of Eddie and Keith, it's not a crime to say like, hey man, I love y'all.
Right.
I think y'all should try this. They may never try it, but you now have put a bug in the air that they might review and be like, oh, we should try that.
100%.
And then your reception should never be like me, I'm like, you can say like for me, I'm doing comedy. I can say like, oh, this person don't do comedy. They just don't get it. Or y'all can say this person don't do podcasts. They don't get it. When truthfully, they don't have their own podcast, but they watch hundreds of podcasts in their life and have seen it done so many ways that they can look and be like, yo, I've seen this before. You should try this.
Yeah.
Sometimes that opinion from the consumer is more valuable than
Because who else do you do it for?
Yeah, exactly. We're not comedians for like our friends, right? We want to make the world laugh, or we want to make the world listen to us. Yeah. I've definitely taken like, I remember this girl had I did one show with Tyson, and she was like, "You just look nervous up there. Like you got to make." I think she said this, like, "You got to make love to the audience," and I was just like, "Man, shut up."
She was like, "Man, there's dudes in there."
Making love to no audience. But
I ain't no dick.
In retrospect, like, similar to what your wife was saying, like, I think that's like when people see like they're like genuinely appreciate you, or they see the potential in you. It's we got to listen for that instead of listening to just argue with them or try to be right in those moments.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you do. I say this. And I've mentioned this before on the podcast. We'll close it out here. But I seen this thing on TikTok of women coming, basically having stories about men like not wiping their butt right. It became a trend on TikTok. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how, the dude didn't wipe right or he smelled bad or whatever the case. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is embarrassing that so many women could come to a social media platform and have stories about dudes like having doo-doo in their drawers, and it's just nasty. And it's a real trend on TikTok.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought about when I heard that, who the fuck are these guys' friends? Somebody in all those years knew you smelled like shit, or they knew you was doing something you wasn't supposed to do. Like, as a friend, you should be like, "Man, your breath smells." Like,
as a girlfriend, don't come to TikTok.
Yeah.
Because the smell of the doo-doo in the drawers might not leave the body.
Well, no.
You're the only person that get to see my drawers.
These are past tense stories.
Oh,
they're past tense for men.
But I guess what I think we're pointing to is like, that conversation on TikTok is cool as long as you've told your man's like, "Yo, like we might have to get some wet wipes." Because you still leaving some doo-doo behind.
Yeah.
You still leaving some doo-doo in the past.
Me personally, I came in the relationship with wipes.
You need to start harboring all this doo-doo. You talk to your therapist.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, good times.
Oh, man.
That's all I got.
You're leaving doo-doo in the past.
That's a crazy way that's the end, ain't it? That's a crazy way to end it.
We need a sponsor. Like, really, if this is just my personal opinion, if you don't have wet wipes or bidet, you kind of halfway wiping your ass.
Yeah, if you're out here dry.
I ain't gonna front. I was with the regular wipes. One time I was wiping for a good 12 minutes. Still doo-doo back here? God.
Nigga got corn on it and shit.
Some people, believe it or not, some people have a number of wipes in their head. Like I'm done after 3 wipes. No, you're not. No 2 doo-doos are the same. There's no way. There's no way 3 wipes is enough.
You're a 20 wipe nigga.
Yeah, like
you doing 3 wipes.
Listen, don't have
facts.
a preconceived number. You wipe till you don't see nothing else.
That's facts. As a kid, I for sure would wipe till I got tired. I was like, my arm hurt. I'm getting up.
Yo, I'm sorry, fellas. No woman should be able to come out with a story about you not wiping properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 2022.
You got too much booty wiping technology.
It also make your booty itch. Like if you got doo-doo back there still.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. Some of these niggas have exceeded the itch. Them niggas is immune. Them niggas have built up an immunity to doo-doo in the.
Oh, that's comedy.
These motherfuckers got shit particles back there.
Yeah, I don't even itch no more. I used to itch all the time.
Oh my god,
that's crazy.
Oh man,
like your butt, man.
Yeah, just as a man in general, you should care how you present yourself, and it just in all facets. When you go out places, just do better. Trim your beard up a little bit. Don't be too crazy out here. Wear deodorant. And when I go to the gym, I spray just a spray or two of cologne. So when I start sweating, it really just comes off me,
Yeah.
Some motherfuckers be in there with bad smelling armpits.
Yeah.
It's like, what if you run into this very attractive woman out in public? And you guys are having a conversation.
Yeah.
And I chew gum because in the morning I brush and stuff and wash my mouth out, but sometimes the breath be stinking, right? So it's like, yo, I need to have some chewing gum when I'm out and about. You know, make sure my stuff's on point. You never know. So, fellas, do better, please.
Amen.
I'm sure there's some women out here with the smelly clits, but as of now, I'm talking about men. Okay? But yeah, I think we've reached the end of this podcast. If you made it to the end of this podcast, we appreciate you for listening. Thank you for listening to the Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
Your boy K Things.
And we're out of here.
Peace.